All right. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. We're going to do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Chief Priest Al-Azhar Bun Lawyer, a.k.a. the Gorilla Hebrew.
Mr. Brother Hassad.
1 second. Yeah, so we back live. Shabbat Shalom to our lunar Sabbath observers. As ourselves. We're ready to get started here with class. Just give us a second. All right, yeah, like I said, y'all see my post on the book. Let's go to my post on the book real quick. I said something on Facebook. I said this on Facebook. I said live class in a minute. I got something y'all need to hear. This is it right here. This is the class. We're live, and I certainly do got something that y'all need to hear through the spirit and power of Yahweh. Got something y'all need to hear, man. I'll be honest with y'all. I said some things in regards to this Nipsey Hussle situation. A little bit on Facebook. A very well respected elder that reached out to me. You know, he's well respected as a Hebrew Israelite, and he's also well respected in the streets and also very well known in the streets of LA. He told me chill out until after the funeral. It's after the funeral. You know, so I respected the elder and heeded to his wishes because I knew what he was trying to do. And I know what he's still trying to do. I'm still not going to jump out the window, but we got to talk about this. We have to talk about this. And again, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's the Most High God. The name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ. Okay, the Most High God is our Savior, Yahweh, and He sent His Son to be the vessel to bring us salvation, Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Christ, a black man. That's it. Nipsey Hussle is not a savior. Tupac is not a savior. Martin Luther King was not a savior. Okay? And that's the point of this video. That's the point of this class. Because I saw droves of black and Hispanic people treat Nipsey Hussle like he is Jesus Christ. Or better than Jesus Christ. I see him be venerated as a deity. Quite frankly, I'm appalled. It's one thing to like somebody, or even for, I mean, for the people that know him and loved him. I'm not even talking about those people who actually knew the guy. I'm talking about you people who didn't know him, which is the majority of you. It's one thing to like somebody. It's one thing to be a fan of somebody's music, and it's one thing to be broken up about somebody's untimely demise. It's another thing to do what I've been seeing done with this dude. And be honest with you. I've seen him worship on a level higher than Pac. Nor should Pac be worshipped. Or anybody outside of the Most High Yahweh. Nobody should be worshipped outside him. But I see what's going on. And it's appalling. And it's sickening, truthfully. One thing, RIP posts and things of that nature. Right? That's one thing. But I see people going way overboard. And there was a shooting today at his funeral. And I'm sorry to say that shooting proved how much of a savior Nipsey Hussle is not. And there is a social media narrative that's being painted in regards to this man and his contributions. I really need y'all to point out to me the great philanthropy that he did, that you're acting like he did. Because I see no receipts of exponential philanthropy that he's being accredited with. Okay, what is philanthropy? Charity. What is all this he did, quote unquote, did for the community? And outside of the immediate community of that neighborhood that covers the Rolling 60s, what other communities did he do for? I'd love to know. Okay, not saying he didn't do anything for anybody ever, not downplaying that which he did, but I think what he did is being embellished upon. I think a narrative is being spun. I want to read this, matter of fact, first before I do anything. A status I just shared from homie Saint Celo Antonio Lamar, right? And he said, I really wasn't going to chime in on this whole situation about the Nipsey dude. But however, I think it's time to shine the brightest light on the facts and unspoken truths that has somehow been distorted by the love of social media. This dude was a gangbanger who promoted his gang in everything that he did. And somehow with his death, that fact has been overlooked, and that's a fact. This man is a gang banger, gang member who, promotes that lifestyle, right? Life is art, and in this case, art is life. And he died how he spoke. He died in the area that he loved. He died by the hands of those he loved and represented in every area of his life. Okay, some of you have witnessed someone you know of get murdered on video. I understand that within itself is traumatizing. However, let's jump back into reality, people. We all only knew of Nipsey through his music and different avenues of creating financial revenue. So please don't allow social media to become your reality. And in this case, for a lot of y'all, it has, and that within yourself is sadder than a gangbanger getting murdered on his favorite street. I say that because since social media has become the people's reality, does that mean that the people's reality has become social media? Some of you have mourned over someone you know through this art harder than you have mourned over those who you share the same blood and the same last name. Get your life together, people, and remember the man, but don't make the man out to be something that he wasn't. And that was a person who was for the people, or a man who was for his race, because he wasn't, and that's the reality of it. That's serious. That's real. I think who he is embellished upon. The same way like how Pac was embellished upon. Pac did a lot of revolutionary things, but he also did a lot of negativity. And we can't act like this man is some type of messianic figure when he put a little bit more positivity than the average guy in some of his music that was still overall overwhelmingly negative in nature as far as the message was concerned. He bought a strip mall. You know how many Ethiopians got strip malls in the hood? I mean, I'm being serious here. And he is being venerated as if he went and bought all the real estate up in his hood and provided affordable housing for the community members. Like he opened up a factory in his hood that employs half the community, employs people who are, parolees and things of that nature. I'm sure he's got contributions, but his philanthropy and the positivity in his overall message is being embellished upon. What he was able to accomplish with his career more than anything else was the furtherance of the popularity of the Rolling 60s Crip Gang. I would say that is the overwhelming thing that he did more than anything else that he has ever done, is increase the popularity of the Rolling 60s Crip Gang. Period. Right? So with that being said, I'm going to go into this article. It's on a Hollywood Reporter. Go ahead, I can read.
Okay. This is it says, quote, "We must stop this senseless violence End quote. Says Los Angeles Police Chief Michael Moore.
No, I thought he stopped the violence. You guys saw a few members of various gangs in LA come and pay respects to somebody whose music they liked, and you people on the internet, actually believed that there was some actual peace treaty or truce going on. You know when there was a peace treaty and truce? In 92 after the riots. That's when there were actual whole gangs coming together that were actual rivals of one another. This Nipsey Hussle thing did not do that. And let's be honest, part of the reason everyone from any gang was able to come over there and pay respects to Nipsey Hussle was because of police presence. And that's just the reality of the situation. The ideology that there was some type of a truce is a lie. But that goes back to the point the brother made. What'd he say? Please don't allow social media to become your reality. Y'all seen a few things in a few different gangs. And I was looking at these pictures. I said, yeah, I mean, you know, it's about 8 of them.
Yeah.
There's like eight Trey gangsters there.
I noticed that.
Okay, 8 Trey gangsters has hundreds of members.
Yeah.
8 of them showed up. That's good. Salute, hats off to my nigga Lil Sody and the twins, Twin Frank. Y'all know what time it is. Salute to y'all. But is that all the 60s? These are individuals who are prominent individuals who have, you know, music careers and things of that nature. That makes sense. But I mean, where are the little riders and shooters at? They wasn't coming there. You know why? Because they're still riding and shooting, and the idea that there was some type of truce or treaty is a lie. There was none of it. But you let social media become your reality, and you take this man and you put him and you deify the man, and you think that this man's death unified the gangs of LA, and that's not what happened. I don't want to take away from his talent. I don't want to take away from anything that he did do. But what I am here to do is to put him back in the proper context where he's supposed to be viewed, right? And not deified, and not as the Messiah of black people, because he's not that. Not even close.
That's right.
You have people saying that he is better than Martin Luther King. He hasn't accomplished 2% of what Martin Luther King accomplished for black people. And I'm not a Martin Luther King fan because of his passive-aggressive, nonviolent message. I'm not a Martin because of his dedication to the religion of plantation Christianity. I'm not a Martin Luther King fan. But I will have to admit that Nipsey Hussle did not accomplish 2% of what the late great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did. Not 2%. Does this take away from anything he did? No. It's putting him right back where he's supposed to be. And our people, our people are so simple that we're getting all caught up on this because you liked them or whatever. And you know, it's traumatic, like I said, to see somebody get killed like that. All right, cool. But why is he being talked about? Why is he being put on this pedestal when this is going on? So the Most High God had to make this happen. Give me, let's start, before we even get started, give me I Kill and Make Alive, please. Because somebody got killed at the funeral procession. And the Most High had this happen for a very specific purpose. So you, as a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, are showed that this man was not the Messiah that he's being painted out to be. That this man did not unify LA's gangs. Read.
It's Isaiah 45:7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. Oh, it's like, you want Deuteronomy 32. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me.
That's Yahweh. That's a statement of incompatibility that the Most High God is making. Read.
I kill and I make alive.
He does that. Nobody dies unless God himself, the Most High Yahweh, signs off on it. Nobody. Not one person. What does that let you know? Who did this? The Most High. Just awake, Yahweh Shem Shah Barakatah. The water. Just awake. He's not even that. Oh yeah, well no, you're right. He is that. He said he's the 2/3 guy. Judah Nazareth, what's going on? Like I said, battle rapper Daylight said Nipsey Hussle was Jesus Christ. I was just having this conversation too before I even go any further. I was just having this conversation with, because we just had camp earlier here in Atlanta, and I was having this conversation with this brother, right? Officer Assad sitting next to me. You know, because sometimes myself and Captain Tazamai, we'll get into debates, sports debates with the brother Assad. Now, Assad, he's younger. I'm 28, he's 20, right? So, if you ask me who the greatest basketball player of all time is, I'm going to say Michael, right? If you ask him, he's going to say Kobe. But I was explaining to the brother, we talk about it sometimes, because he watched Kobe in his peak, and that's some of his earliest and most fondest memories of watching the NBA. He's going to have that natural affinity to Kobe because he actually got to see him play in real time. He didn't have to go back, watch any tape or anything like that, any highlights. He really got to see him play. Growing up in the 90s, being a kid, we have that same experience with Michael Jordan, him winning them rings, etc., as we were young. So we have that affinity towards Mike. Older people usually say Mike. It's usually, if anybody says Kobe is the GOAT, it's somebody younger, right? So you read about Christ, you read about YASHARAHLA, you hear about Malcolm X, you hear about Martin, you hear even about Pop, but you don't experience them. You are prone to, not guaranteed to, but prone to have the affinity to the person who you experience. If you sat up and waited all night for a Nipsey Hussle mixtape and listened to his music and was always playing them, and you were watching his videos when they dropped, you had a Crenshaw crew neck and you had those things, you have that affinity towards him. So what you feel like he does or his loss is going to be more traumatic to you because it's something that you had a more personable experience with. That's why people are saying the ignorant statement of this is Jesus Christ. No, Nipsey Hussle is Nipsey Hussle. I'm going to tell it to you just like that. Okay? But let's go ahead and go to the article. Go ahead and read from one person.
It says, one person was killed and multiple others injured when a shooting took place Thursday afternoon during the funeral procession for slain rapper Nipsey Hussle.
You see that? And you know what everyone was thinking when they went to that funeral procession? Nothing's going to happen. It's all good. Everybody love Nip. It's all good, man. We finna go up here. The police is going to be up here. Niggas thought it was going to be sweet. The Most High had another plan. Read on.
It says, a total of 4 people were shot at 103rd Street and Main Street during the procession, according to Los Angeles Police Chief Michael Moore. The victims were described as 3 African-American men and 1 African-American woman, all between the ages of 30 to 50, said Moore via social media.
So we have 4 victims, 4 people shot, 1 dead. Read on.
It says, it is unclear which victim died. Suspects in gray Hyundai fired on the victims, the chief said. We, quote, we must stop this senseless violence, end quote, Moore added.
That's what's been being said for the last 40 years in black communities. We must stop this senseless violence. So it's the fact that at Nipsey Hussle's funeral, senseless violence has keep happening. That shows that he was not the messianic figure that you're painting him to be, because his death did not stop the senseless violence that is plaguing our communities. Right? Keep going.
It says, enormous crowds gathered Thursday to pay their respects to Hussle as his body was carried from the public funeral at Staples Center to South L.A.
Go ahead. Oh, slide.
Yeah, I can't see. That's South L.A. where he was born and raised.
Right. So give me Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Because I want to explain something to y'all. I want to explain, this is very simple scripture. You've heard 100,000 Hebrew Israelites use this 100,000 times. It's the main scripture that comes out when you encounter a Hebrew Israelite. And it still hasn't sunken into your heads, even some of you Hebrew Israelites, because guess what? A lot of y'all Hebrew Israelites are some of these same people venerating this man as some type of messianic figure.
That's right.
Who's not even an Israelite. Read.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord, Yahweh, shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So we were brought into slavery, into bondage on a ship. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Right, so we came into slavery on a ship. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
When we get to this place, we're going to be sold to our enemy. When we get to Egypt, Mizraim, Matazarium, amongst the rocks in this hard place, we're going to be sold to our enemies. Read on.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
Yes, I didn't say Jesus came to stop the killing of blacks. His death was not that. That's what his return is about. Right? Understand the message. These people think that Nipsey Hussle was going to unify LA in his death. Christ didn't say, when I die, it's all going to be all good. Christ said, when I die, it's going to get worse. Read. His father is Ethiopian. Exactly. Eritrean specifically. Read on.
It says, and no man shall buy you.
No man shall what?
Buy you.
No man shall buy you. What does that mean? That means no man is going to redeem you. Because it already said you shall be sold. Bought and sold. You have to be bought in order to be sold, right? But it said no man shall buy you. That's dealing with redemption. No man is going to redeem you. And this shooting and this death at his funeral proves that no man can redeem you. Period. Right? So let's prove that. Leviticus 25 and 48. Let's deal with the law in the Bible, in the Torah on this, and how it shows you how you can be redeemed out of slavery or servitude. But God said no man can redeem us out of the destiny of the new Egypt. No man can do it. Nipsey Hussle was a man and not a God. Right? Read on.
This is Leviticus 25 and 48. And he that is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren.
When you're sold into slavery, you can be redeemed again. One of your brethren,
may redeem him.
Can come and redeem you. But it said we're going to go through this and we're not going to be redeemed. Brandon, real quick. What you're saying, can you elaborate a little more? Because when I'm reading this article and I'm seeing it's on 103rd in Maine, I know where 103rd in Maine is, and I was really curious as to why his funeral procession passed through 103rd in Maine, because I know it was at Staples, and if it was going into the 60s or whatever, I just want to know why the hell they're way on 103rd in Maine. So if you could give a little elaboration, King. Because his brother Brandon McFord, this brother's a brother we've known for quite some time. His brother, from LA, live in LA, things of that nature. So I just would like to know. So I guess what the brother's saying is that it didn't happen at the actual funeral, which would make sense to me, because 103rd in Maine is, let's say just did a whole South Central tour. Well, the Nation of Islam is always going to show out for things like that. The Nation of Islam is the Fruit of Islam is a world-class security company. So they're qualified, have the ability and the training to secure anything. Black Coda, that happened? So it was all over I just need clarification. Did they go everywhere? Or where did it go through? Because, like I said, 103rd in Maine is pretty far from Staples and pretty far from the 60s. The killing was between bounty hunters and the graves. Okay, that makes sense. But was it at the funeral or no? That's all I want to know. If it wasn't at the procession, I want to know so I can make sure to speak correctly as to what happened. Well, for the record, the point, just so everybody understands, the point still stands. And the whole reason I'm doing this is to show that it didn't bring the unity and the peace that people are playing it out to have brought. LA is still a city that's torn by violence. These neighborhoods are still being gentrified. And we need more than a charismatic rapper with a little philanthropy and a business mind to save us. We need the Most High God. Yeah, bring that in. Bring that out. Like, it was not at the funeral. Okay, it was not at the funeral. All right, cool. So it was not at the funeral procession, which again, it makes sense to me, because as soon as I said 130 million, I said, why was he all the way up there? Yeah, we'll be at Atlanta. We'll be at CNN Center Saturday. We were just there. We just came from there. But yeah, so read Leviticus 25 and 48 again. I appreciate the clarification, Brother Brandon. Right? So read.
Leviticus 25 and 48. After that he is sold, he may be redeemed again.
So right, when you sold into slavery, according to the Torah, you can't be redeemed out of slavery. We've been sold out of slavery, but no man can come and redeem us. That's the point of 28 and 68. That's why it says that no man shall buy you, meaning no man is going to redeem us. Right? Exactly right to say. But it says no man shall redeem us because there is a protocol for redemption out of slavery that we already had in the law. The Most High is telling us that's not going to happen. Right? Okay, boom, the procession was peaceful. There was a lot of police in the procession. Right? So I would imagine that. But it's just showing you that it didn't bring LA together the way that people are playing it out to be and allowing social media to become their reality and dictate narratives. Right? And romanticism. Right? That people acted as if Nipsey Hussle's death turned South Central into a utopia. It didn't. That's romanticism. South Central is the same thing that it's always been. Right? Read on.
Okay. It says one of his brethren.
There you go, Brandon. Go ahead. It said one of his brethren will redeem. So let's go to Deuteronomy 32:6. But in this instance, out of this new Egypt, this spiritual Egypt, no man was going to have the ability to redeem us. Only the Most High can redeem us. And this is the main point that I want to say. That again, you want to pay respects to a dead person that you had an affinity towards. That's one thing. But acting as if this man was the Messiah is an entirely different thing. No, Ethiopians are not Israelites, but there are Israelites scattered in East Africa, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, Djibouti. They're scattered, right? But they, in general, are not Israelites. But go ahead.
Deuteronomy 32:6.
Uh-huh.
Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people?
Do you requite the Lord, the Most High Yahweh? Do you requite Him? Read on.
O foolish people and unwise.
And what?
And unwise.
And unwise. Read on.
Is not He thy Father that hath bought thee, Salakia?
Yahweh is our Father that has bought us. It's the most. Now, man is not going to buy us. The Most High Yahweh is who's going to buy us out of this captivity. Right? Finish that.
It says, hath He not made thee and established thee?
Now let's go to Ephesians 1:7.
It's the book of Ephesians chapter 1 verse 7. It says, in whom we have redemption through His blood.
We have redemption through the blood of Hamashiach Yahushua, the actual Christ, who you are taking what He did and putting it on somebody who just was a rapper and a businessman. Right? Read on.
It says, the forgiveness of sins according to the riches of His grace.
That's right. See that? That's only gotten by the Most High through Yahushua. Somebody said, how do we escape the curse? Simple. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and faith in the Mashiach Yahushua. Right? Well, ultimately, not yes, but that still doesn't mean you. That still doesn't save you and spare you from the judgment that's going to occur here in America if you don't repent. Galatians 3:13.
This is Galatians chapter 3 verse 13. It says, Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law.
Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law through that blood shed of Hamashiach Yahushua. True, Nat Turner. Through the bloodshed of Hamashiach Yahushua are we redeemed. Through nothing else. Not through the bloodshed of Nipsey Hussle or Martin Luther King or anybody. Through the blood of Yahushua, who you call Christ the black man. That's how we receive redemption, because that is the price that the Most High said He would buy us for. That's what we have to understand. All right? Go ahead. That was in 13?
No, it says
go ahead.
He made a curse, for it is written.
He was made a curse for us on that cross. Right? Read on.
For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree.
Cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. Right? So He hung on that tree and made a curse for us when He didn't deserve it, so we can be saved and redeemed. Right? So now let's go to Revelations 5 and 9.
This is Revelation 5 and 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For Thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to God.
Yahushua redeemed us to the Most High. Thou wast slain, Christ. Not Nipsey Hussle. Not MLK. Not Malcolm X. Yahushua Christ, read.
By Thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
So everywhere we've been scattered, we are now going to be saved from because of the shedding of the blood of Hamashiach Yahushua. But we have to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and faith. We have to believe that Yahushua did that, and we have to keep the law, statutes, commandments. That's what it comes down to, man. Right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 now and 43. Okay? And because I want to speak about something, because people talk about the things that this man was able to accomplish as far as entrepreneurially, right, in his community where he grew up, which in South LA. Here's what we have to understand. Matter of fact, Salakia, before I even go there, to show y'all that he didn't redeem us, to show y'all that there wasn't this big gang truce. There was glimpses of it and things of that nature, and you did have people who did set things aside. The overwhelming majority of South Central was still South Central. I'm approving. Let's start here. Am I here? All right. All right. Y'all can see this, right? What does it say? F a treaty. I'm forever blood killer, Trey killer, Hoover killer, gangster killer, 20 killer, 40 crip. Don't sound like a peace treaty to me, by any shape, form, or fashion, right? Let's keep going. Let's see if these guys believed it was a peace treaty. They thought they were a part of some type of a peace treaty.
They know it's live. They know I'm live. It's live. They know I'm live. It's Nipsey.
See that? Where was all the love there? But this is showing you, yes, a lot of people loved him. A lot of people were being more sensible, right? A lot of these same people were people who are already being more sensible, man. All right? But a lot of the knuckleheads that are the hearts of a lot of these gangs, they didn't give a damn about no peace treaty, man. All right? His death did not do nothing for them.
I'm already going to That's like, I'm telling them they go to the peace treaty and accidentally kick the shit over. Oh, oops. Oops. I accidentally kick everything. Oops.
See what I'm saying? Ain't no peace treaty, man. We got to be real here. Right? I got one more.
I love you, bro, but like I understand that you wanna, you know what I'm saying, have rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. That's cool. I mean, that's what you wanna do, but don't put on my page, bro. I love you. You know what I'm saying? You want on your page, you can have it on your page, bro, but don't put that on my page, bro.
No, don't put that on your page.
Don't put that on my page. Everybody got their own opinions, and you know what I'm saying? Everybody do what they do, but you know, if you want to send it to me on Messenger or a video or something you want me to check out, I'll check it out, but don't put that snapback thing on my page, man.
I mean, there it came out. She was trying to be respectful for a second.
Can you delete that?
She tried to stay respectful as long as she could. She didn't last a minute with the respect, right? People is not feeling this, man. This is what I'm saying. We can't. Again, you like his music. You felt his movement. You are torn up about his untimely demise. Cool. To give this man the credit I'm seeing people give, and acting like his death done unified. Let me tell you something, man. LA is gonna be LA tomorrow. It was LA yesterday. That's it. That's it. Black Coder exactly anyway. You see what I'm saying? You know, some over the 40, some niggas was celebrating. You know it. Right? So what we have to understand is this, man. That the only thing that's going to save these so-called black people that we just read about is the Most High God. A man can't even do that. What we just saw, the type of mentality and behavior and things of that nature can only be fixed by the Most High God. I want to let y'all know that right now. That's the type of behavior that only God can divinely intervene and fix, and how he does it is through the Bible. That's how he's going to do it. He's going to do it through the Bible, through the Holy Spirit that he's putting on the prophets. Only that can stop that. Because I'm gonna let y'all know something. Some of these men that you see on these corners in these camps with these fringes on had this identical mentality before the word of the Lord and the law began to work into their life. Matter of fact, give me 2 Ezra 14 and 35, matter of fact, real quick. It's the only thing.
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 14, verse 35.
Uh-huh.
It says, "For after death shall the judgment come."
Salakia, that's not what I need.
Which one?
Second Ezra 3 and 20. That's what I need.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 3 and verse 20.
Read on.
It says, "And yet tookest not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them."
See that we have wicked hearts, but then the law of the Most High, the 613, that brings forth fruit in us. That's called the fruits of the Spirit. The law works. Started from the top.
This is 2 Ezra 3 and 20.
Read on.
It says, "And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart."
So we have that wicked heart. Read.
That thy law might bring forth fruit in them.
But then the Most High has us to learn the law, and the law works within our lives. The Torah begins to work in our lives and bring forth positive fruit that does away with that wicked work that we did. Read on.
Verse 21. It says, "For the first Adam bearing a wicked
That's
heart."
all I needed was 20, right? So the law is here to bring forth fruit in us. So without that law bringing forth fruit, that wicked heart is what we're going to remain with. And that mentality that we just showed you is going to persist within our people, within our communities, man. It's going to persist. So the only thing that's going to happen is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we hear those words and we are quickened by them. And we leave that death style and we come into a lifestyle of the law, statutes, and commandments. Point blank, period. Right? So, now let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 43. I want to get that.
Okay.
And I just want to do a special class on this. And outside of that, we have our regular Sabbath class. Okay? Lunar Sabbath class that we're going to get into as well. But I wanted to do this. Give me 28 and 53 because I just want to talk about why. When people talk about, man, look what he accomplished. I'm gonna explain to you in the Bible why he was able to accomplish these things. And other people from his same community were not able to accomplish what he accomplished. I'm gonna explain why now. Read that.
Deuteronomy 20 and 43. The stranger.
The what?
The stranger.
The stranger, the non-Israelite. The Israelites are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians pursuant to patrilineage. The people who come from East Africa, i.e. the Eritreans, the Ethiopians, the Somalians, the people of Djibouti. Those people are Cushites. They come from the Cushitic people, not the Israelites. They are strange to Israel. They are considered heathen, Gentiles to us, right? So it says the stranger, read on.
That is within thee.
That is within. The stranger within us. Meaning the stranger that's going to dwell amongst us, just like Nipsey Hussle did, being a seed of a Eritrean man, but grew up with the tribe of Judah, the so-called black man. The stranger that shall dwell amongst us, read.
Shall get up above thee.
Shall what?
Get up above
shall
thee.
Get up above thee. Shall rise in prominence over you. Shall have more financial stability than you. Shall become richer than you. Go ahead.
Shall get up above thee very high. And thou shalt come down very low.
So why was he able to do what he did? Derek Yehuda, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah, water for your continual support, brother. Why was he able to do what he did? Very simple. Because he's not an Israelite. So he was able to grow up with Israelites, live a lifestyle with Israelites, yet still get up above the Israelites who he lived amongst because he was not restrained by the same curses and the same disadvantages that the Israelites are. Period. The fact that he was able to do what he did is cold, hard, concrete proof that he was not a Hebrew Israelite. Why hasn't corrupt Big U and guys like that, Pac-Man the Gunman, Conrad from the Avs, the other rappers from the 60s, why weren't they able to rise to the prominence and do what Nipsey Hussle did? Do you know why? Because they're Hebrew Israelites under the curses, and they need who the world calls Christ to return, to redeem them from that. You feel me, Brandon? I mean, come on. You mean to tell me Conrad ain't talented? I mean, he had catchy records, man. Miss BAD, things like that. Why didn't those records take off? Why wasn't he able to get the bag? He's been in jail. I think he may be out now, but he was in jail for a long time, right? For a minute, he was locked down. Why are our people going through this? It's very simple, because we're under the curses. This man was not. So he was able to do things that we couldn't. And did we benefit off some of those things? Sure, man. He's not the first non-Israelite to come around and we benefit off of something that they doing. Right? That happens. But overall, why was he able to do that? Because he's not an Israelite. Because he's not restrained by these curses. What is an Israelite doing to get some money? Get the hell out of the hood. It's the first thing he do. This place, to hell with that. I got to get out of here. Our people trying to get away from each other. This man being able to transcend the situation that the community was in, because he wasn't withheld by the same divine curse, was able to do things and give back and things of that nature on a higher level. And that's all because of that, man. So I just want my people, man, to not venerate somebody and honor somebody more than they should. I'm not telling nobody, don't be messed up about this dude dying, whatever. If that's what you want to do, you know, I'm not going to sit here and act like a non-Israelite's death hasn't saddened me before. Even in the truth, it's happened. You know, last year, one of my little homies who was not an Israelite, who comes from the seed of Japheth, a Samoan, he took his own life. You know, and I was a little messed up about it, but I do what the Bible say do. You mourn for 7 days and you move on. That's simple. You know, and you know, that's a dude who I had homie love for sure, you know, as far as on a worldly gang perspective. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, do what you got to do. But like the Bible say, mourn 7. Give me that. There's a scripture. Is Bazak in the chat? There's a scripture that says a fool mourn all his days. Something like that. It's in the, you know, and people can have any personal opinion. Some people think he's the greatest. Some people might not. That's cool, man. I don't even care about that. I'm not going to argue nobody about that. I'm just saying, don't boost the man up to be a Messiah. Especially if you're a Hebrew Israelite in the truth, you know the laws, statutes, commandments. You know better than even doing that in the first place. So, Dan Grand, I mean, then I could say the same thing about a soul food restaurant. That's ridiculous. Dan Grand, you're off thin ice. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm gonna hide you. My fault. I didn't mean to hide you. But what I'm going to do is put you in timeout till you get some sense, brother. Right? Fool mourn all his days. So read that.
I don't got it.
You don't got it yet, Salaki. Let me know when you got it. There we go. Sirach 22 and 12.
Sirach chapter 22 verse 12. 7 days do men mourn for him that is dead, but for a fool in an ungodly man, all the days of his life. I don't think that's the one, because I saw that.
Yeah, that's not it. You're right. That's not. But the water. Ancient Kings, Yahweh Shemel, Shabrakatah, Wat the water. Oh, I mean, that's the point. You know, you mourn 7 days for somebody, man. That's how you're supposed to do it. We ain't mourning forever, you know, and move on, because we got things to do. It's things to do in this so-called Black and Hispanic people that need saving and need this word. You know, that's why I'm not, you know, brothers, I know the brothers from True Nation went out there and some other brothers and things of that nature, and what they did was a good work. Because they know our people was over there messed up, and they went and gave them the word. You know, we got to understand that We got to be careful sometimes as Hebrew Israelites and things that we do and we say, as to not throw the baby out with the bath water, right? Not throwing the baby out with the bath water. I just want to look the definition of that up real quick. So look, this is the. Right, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Is an idiomatic expression for an avoidable error in which something good is eliminated when trying to get rid of something bad, or in other words, rejecting the favorable along with the unfavorable. Right, so we can go, man, he's a heathen, man, whatever, he was wicked, to hell with that dude. But because our people are so emotionally attached to this situation, that's going to instantaneously turn them off from hearing the message. Right? Precept, go ahead.
Sirach 22:11. Weep for the dead, for he hath lost the light. And weep for the fool, this is one I think. Weep for the fool, for he wanteth understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest.
Make little weeping for him. So we're not supposed to just weep and mourn forever. Make little weeping for him, because at the end of the day, he's at rest. Point blank period. He is at rest. Right? But we can't throw the baby out with the bath water. So it was important and it was good that brothers took to the streets and who were teaching or conversing about these matters with those of our people who are not in the knowledge. It's good that they did it the way that they did it. All right? I certainly salute them brothers for doing what they did. I enjoyed watching them brother teach, especially our brother Taziawan out of True Nation, man. He gave a powerful, he always speaks very powerfully in the spirit, so those things were good. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for that. And I hope that through this situation, there are people who wake up to the truth, if nothing else, for sure. Yeah, Black Coat, honestly, me too. Me too. People threatened violence on me and everything. But that's fine. We don't have the spirit of fear. We certainly don't have it. So we're not worried about our people who are caught up in this foolishness, man. We're not worried about them doing anything to us. We're more worried about getting across and getting the message to them so they can repent and have action and salvation. That's what we out here doing. So, with that being said, I want to, where is my phone at? Oh, right down, buddy. With that being said, I want to start our Sabbath service. I want to start our Sabbath service in the spirit. So if everybody can rise and face the east, because we're going to start doing the Sabbath service weekly and Sabbath class going into the Torah. Right now, the new moon came in last week, so this is the 8th day here of the 2nd month. Okay, some of y'all will call it the 8th day of the 1st month. It's back there. It's the corner. Like this one. Okay. All right. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ha Nathalanawa.
Ha Nathanawa.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
All right, we're going to start with the Lord's Prayer now, right? Adawan Palau.
Adawan Palau.
Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Haya.
Haya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwathka.
Malakwathka.
Taba'a,
Taba'a,
Ratazaka,
Ratazaka,
Haya,
Haya,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Ba'arataza,
Ba'arataza,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Haya,
Haya,
Bashamayim,
Bashamayim,
Bashamayim, Salakia, Bashamayim,
Bashamayim,
Nathanawa,
Lathano,
Lakham,
Lakam,
Kaliyawam,
Kalyawam,
Wasalaknawa,
Wasalakno,
Kawabawatnawa,
Kawawathino,
Kasalaknawa,
Kasalakno,
Kawabawathinawa,
Kawawapiano,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Tabai, Salakia, Tabayanai, this was always gonna get me. Tabayanawa,
Thaviano,
Salakia, Tabayanawa,
Thaviano,
Banashinawa, Salakia,
Banasaiwan,
yeah, Banasai 1, Abal,
Abal,
Hawashinawa,
Haushano,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Rakaya,
Lakha,
Laka,
Hamalakwath,
Hamalakwath,
Wa'ala,
Waha'ala,
Wahathara, Slack,
Waslapa Arath,
yeah, Wahathla Pa'arath, Laiwa,
Laiwalam,
yeah, Laiwalam now, Aman, Salakia. All right, number 6, Yabaraka,
Yabaraka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Washamarka,
Washamark,
Ya'ar,
Ya'ar,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Panyawa,
Panyawa,
Alakia,
Alakia,
Wayakanka,
Waikanka,
Yasha,
Yasha,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Aliyaka,
Ayaka,
Wayasham,
Wayasham,
Laka,
Laka,
Shalom.
Shalom,
All right, we're going to do the Shema now. Shema, Yasharahla, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. Shema, Yasharahla, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. Shema, Yasharahla, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. All right, now I'm going to bless the Torah. We're going to start our Torah reading. Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai,
Ba'ashem Yahushai,
Hahawa'ah,
Hahawa'ah,
Nathanawa,
Nathanawa,
Hathawara.
Wathara.
All right, we'll start the Torah reading. Let's get we're gonna start Exodus 19. So we read over. We read through 32?
Draw me 32?
32, 33, 34?
No.
We didn't. You're right. Okay, 32, 33, and 34. So this is gonna be the last one that we start the Torah over. Right?
Alright, I got it. Ooh.
All right, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 32 and 1. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain. My speech shall distill as the dew.
Right, so when they say my doctrine shall drop as the rain, there is a common saying amongst Hebrew Israelites, and that's why I was going to drop the truth on this person, right? And that's a biblical terminology, whether people know it or not. My doctrine dropping as rain is teaching somebody. You dropping the truth on them, and that's right here in the Bible, which is interesting. But go ahead.
It says, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of Yahweh.
Because I will do what?
Publish the name of Yahweh.
I will do what?
Publish the name of Yahweh.
See that? It's important to understand that we must publish the name of Yahweh, showing you the emphasis on the name of the Most High. Yahweh, the incommunicable name. Read on.
It says, ascribe ye greatness unto our God.
Do what?
Ascribe ye greatness unto our God.
And big up and boost up and speak about and extol to the utmost our God. Read on.
It says, he is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment.
That's right. All his ways are judgment. Read on.
It says, a God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he.
That's right. Go ahead.
They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation.
This is our people now. Our people are not acting like we are his children. That's what it said. The spot is not the spot of his children. We are behaving not like Israelites, not like we are supposed to be. This goes into the Gentile thing as well. Their spot is not the spot of their children. Read that again.
It says they have corrupted themselves.
They have what?
Corrupted themselves.
We have corrupted ourselves, man. Right? As so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Through our idolatry. Right? That's one prominent way. And through various other iniquities that we're committing. Right? But one of the main ways is idolatry. Read.
They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children.
Read on.
They are a perverse and crooked generation.
That's right. That's how we have become, a perverse and crooked people, man. Read on.
Do you thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise?
This is what we just read. Our people are requiting the Lord. Read on.
Is not he thy father?
He is our father. Read on.
That hath brought thee?
Right, he bought us. In this instance, it's referring to bringing us out of Egypt. Right? Hold that. Isaiah 43 and 3. Yeah.
It's Isaiah chapter 43, verse 3.
Read on.
It says, For I am Yahweh thy God, the Holy One of Israel, thy
Right.
Savior.
Go ahead.
I gave Egypt for thy ransom.
I gave what?
Egypt for thy ransom.
For thy ransom. So he bought us through giving Egypt for our ransom. Right? Meaning he killed Egyptians so we can live. Read on.
Ethiopia and Sheba for thee.
That's interesting. Right? But go back to Deuteronomy.
This is Deuteronomy 32, and I'm going to finish verse 6. It says, Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee?
And he made us, meaning he saved us out of Egypt, bought us with the death of the Egyptians, and put us in our land, established us as a nation of people on that earth that we were not before. We were just slaves in Egypt before then, right? Read on.
It says,
Andre Shelby, Yabashim Yahshua Barakatah, Walk the Water. Go ahead.
It says, Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Go ahead.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam.
He did what?
Separated the sons of Adam.
He separated all the nations. Read on.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
He rewarded us and gave everyone else accordingly afterwards. That's why we have as our inheritance the Fertile Crescent, the most fertile land in the world, right? Because he set the bounds at us. He gave us the most choice part of the earth and let everyone else get the rest. Read on.
It says, For the Lord's portion is his people.
The Lord's portion is his people. We are the Lord's portion. The portion of the Most High Yahweh. That's what has to be understood. We can't forget that. We are the Lord's portion, man. Read on.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. This precept, Sirach 17 and 17. For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion.
That's right. So he put somebody over everybody, but he gave us his only begotten son. Right? I mean, he gave us himself and is sending his only begotten son to be the earthly ruler. Right? Read on.
Whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline.
He do what?
Nourisheth with discipline.
Why do we get under curse? People go, well, why God loves us so much and we're his chosen people? Then why are we going through all this? Read that again.
It says, whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline.
He nourishes us with discipline. This is nourishment. A lot of y'all don't understand this because you weren't raised by proper parents, right? But when you read in the Bible tells you a proper parent nourishes you with discipline. What does that mean? Punishes you and beats your ass. Why does he punish you and beat your ass? So you can be a better person. So you can know what's right and wrong and understand it firmly because you have felt the repercussions of doing wrong. That's what a good, decent father does. So as Yahweh being our father, as we already have read here in Deuteronomy 32, it said he nourishes us with discipline. And this is why we're in this state we're in right now. So we can learn that the things that we are doing are wrong and they do nothing but get us put through hell. Read on.
It says, whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love doth not forsake him.
That's right. But overall, he does not forsake us. West Coast Music Upload. Yeah, we got an update about that. So apparently it was not at the funeral. Okay. It was just in LA on the same day. I got you. Thank you. After we finish this, I'll change the title. Don't you worry. But go ahead.
It says, back to Deuteronomy 32, verse 10. It says, he found him in a desert land, and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye.
He found us in Egypt and brought us out of it, right? Gave us the laws. Go ahead.
As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings.
See that? Saved us out of Egypt. Read on.
So Yahweh alone did lead did lead him.
But wait, it was Moses. But see
Yahweh.
that? But Yahweh alone. That's a cut. That is a dagger to these non-messianics that want to go in. Well, we're in the Bay, so if you're in San Jose, send an email in, and you can get contacted. We have brothers throughout Northern California. He sent Moses in, but he said he did it himself. Total dagger for the non-messianic dudes, man. All right, who is this dude?
He's gone, man.
Simeonite warrior, Yahweh Shemi Ashar Barakatah Wata Wata. That's right. Beautiful precept. Go ahead.
Okay. It says, and there was no strange God with him.
Uh-huh.
He made him ride on the high places of the earth.
That's right.
That he might eat the increase of the fields.
Uh-huh.
And he made him to suck honey out of the rock and oil out of the flinty rock.
And he do that? And he do that for us? Made something out of nothing for us. Right? Read on.
It says, butter of kine and milk of sheep with fat of lambs and rams of the breed of Bashan and goats with the fat of kidneys of wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat.
Who is Jeshurun? That is a poetic reference to Israel. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
Yes. It says, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him.
See that? Then we begin to forsake God. That's our problem. And this is Moses prophesying all of this before any of it happens. Or where some of it is getting brought out. But now it says, then he forsook God. He knew we were going to go off. He saw it. Right? So he left us this. Read.
Okay. It says, yet then he forsook God which made him and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. Okay. It says, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
See that? And that's what our people do. Worship new gods that came newly up.
Yeah.
Caesar Borgia, Haile Selassie. Now, goddammit, Nipsey Hussel's on the list. Because some of our people are deifying him. Right? Worshiping new gods. Read on.
What it was? Remember, I asked that some new thing. That's one. That's our people.
Some new thing, yeah. Go ahead.
It says, of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful.
That's right. We're not thinking about God. We're thinking about everything and everyone else but the Most High God and what we need to do to get back on His good side and His good graces. Right? Read.
It says, and has forgotten God that formed thee. And when Yahweh saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons.
The Most High is mad, right, Reed?
And of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no faith.
Go ahead.
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God, for they have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains.
Go ahead.
I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger, and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin.
Talking about the curses coming on us, man. And killing everybody. Right? And everybody falling a victim. Read on.
The suckling also with the man of gray hairs. I said I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, our hand is high, and the Lord Yahweh hath not done it, and not done all this.
See, the Most High knew that these heathens were going to start taking credit for these things and feeling themselves. Then you know what the Most High, wait a minute, I'm going to kill them too now. They got to get it. Because they're not doing this on their own. I'm only allowing them to do this to my people. Then they going to get it. Then ultimately, He going to raise us up to get revenge on the whole earth. Right? So read on.
It says, for they are a nation void of counsel.
They're a nation what?
Void of counsel.
That's the problem. Our people don't want to take counsel according to the Bible, right? Give me this in Proverbs. Where's my Bible at? Give me my Bible.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I know right what I'm talking about.
It might be so right, as a matter of fact.
No, it's in Proverbs. Proverbs.
Proverbs 11 and 14, I think.
What is that?
Where no counsel is.
No, there you go.
Yeah, 11 and 14.
Read it.
This is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14.
Read on.
It says, where no counsel is, the people fall.
Where no counsel is, the people fall. Right? So we're a people that's void of counsel. We just acted on impulse. I mean, even let's take a look at the situation where the dude killed Nipsey Hussle, since that's the hot topic of tonight. There was no counsel. He didn't go and run that by anybody. There's nobody in their right mind that would instructed him to go, and because somebody has an opinion that's not favorable of you, to go and shoot them in the head and murder them in broad daylight. No sensible person would have gave you counsel for that, because our people are void of counsel. They do erratic, emotionally charged, retarded things like blow people's heads out in broad daylight. That was dumb as hell. Period. That was dumb as hell, right? But here you have a brother, a misguided so-called black man, who, because he did not have the emotional capacity to deal with somebody having an unfavorable opinion towards him, that he murdered that person. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. But that's because we're a people void of counsel. You got to run things by people. And maybe somebody with a cooler head could go, but nah, bro, just let that go, man. To hell with what he's talking about. Who cares? Right? But he felt so strongly by that he had to kill somebody, because he is void of counsel. We're a people that's void of counsel, and because of that, we're perishing. Is that man dead? Who's to say whether he's going to get killed, right? He could lose his life in that jail. But what he's going to get as a result of doing that murder is losing his life, is rendering him as good as dead on death row or doing life. He perished now because he's void of counsel. Right? So read on.
It says, where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
You need somebody to sit there and sit you down and say, brother, that's not a good idea. Don't go shoot this man broad daylight because of his opinion about you. Don't do that. Right? We need so-called black and Hispanic people with sense enough to do that, but our people don't want to seek counsel. Our people won't even ask people advice because you already know what it's going to be, and you don't want to follow that advice. You want to do what the hell you want to do. See what I'm saying? That's what's wrong with our people. Right there, we're a nation that's void of counsel. And nobody's exempt from this. I'm a convicted felon right now from being void of counsel. From not thinking about what I did before I did it, or running by anybody, or even seeing the apprehensiveness of my co-defendants and thinking, to hell with it, we just gonna do it. So read.
This is back in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 28 again. It says, for they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them.
Our people don't get it, man. Our people do not get what's going on out here, and that's why we're so destroyed. We need to wake the hell up and smell the coffee, man. Read on.
It says, oh, that they were wise, that they understood this.
Only if we were wise and understanding. But like Ancient King said, our elders have failed. That's a huge contributing factor. Is the failure of our elders. And our elders have failed because they were too busy in that church. Let's just keep it real. Right? So read on.
That they would consider their latter ends. How should one chase 1,000?
Daniel Cruz, that's a brother. That's the only thing. It's funny because when I was making that statement about jail, you can find the truth in jail and repent. That's possible. but you're limited in who you can really reach because you're in that environment. But you still can reach brothers and brothers. I know when I was in jail, wasn't in prison or nothing like that, but over the time I was in jail, I certainly was ministering and witnessing and spreading the gospel as much as I could. Right? So read on.
It says, how should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight?
That's the power that we're supposed to have. We're supposed to be able to, one of us, be able to chase 1,000 people. We're not supposed to be running from police. Police should be running from us, right? But no, that's not where we're at. Why? Because we lack understanding. Read on.
Except their rock had sold them, and Yahweh had shut them up.
The only way that we can be in this position is because the Most High is allowing it, because we have forsaken him. That's the only way. Now, one cop can make a whole block scatter. One white boy with a badge. We're all scattering. Right? Read that again from the top.
It's Deuteronomy 32 and 30. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and Yahweh had shut them up?
The only reason why when the police pull up, all of us scatter like roaches is because God allowed it to happen. Because we forsook him. Not for just any reason, but because we turn our backs on him. He's showing us that we need him. Read on.
For their rock is not as our rock.
Because these other people rock is not like our rock. What does that mean? They worship an idol. We have an actual God. Read on.
They worship an actual rock.
They worship an actual rock, and our metaphorical rock is an actual God. Read.
Even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah.
Right? What is that? The vine is of the vine of Sodom and the fields of Gomorrah. I see that in Atlanta, Georgia. I tell you that.
Sure.
I see the vine of Sodom and the fields of Gomorrah.
Boy, do you.
I seen it in California. I see it in New York City. I see it in Miami. Read on.
It says, their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons.
That's right. What are we feeding each other? What are we causing each other to drink and internalize? This is metaphorical wine now. The doctrine and the ideology and philosophies that we're propagating is poison. That girl is poison. You remember that? A lot of us are poison, man. The music that we do, the lifestyles, the things that we're teaching people and propagating are all poisonous and an utter detriment to our people. Read on.
And the cruel venom of asps. Is not this laid up in store with me and sealed up among my treasures? To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. For Yahweh shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left. And he shall say, where are their gods, their rock in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you and be your protection. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and make alive, I wound and I heal, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hands. For I lift up my hand to heaven, and I say I live forever, and say I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword, and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and will reward them that hate me.
Go ahead.
It says, I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain of the captives, from the beginning of her vengeance upon the enemy. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to all his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people.
So that mercy of the Most High is something that has always exclusively been promised to Israel. We got to go right back here to the Torah and we can see that, which they want to run from, but it's always something that's been promised to us only. Very important to understand that. Go ahead.
Precept, Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints.
To who?
To his saints.
That's the Israelites. Period. Read on.
And he hath care for his elect.
Care for who?
His elect.
Israel, mine elect, Israel the saints, etc. You gotta know the precepts. It's clear. It's always about us. It ain't about nobody else. Right? So read on.
It says, verse 44, and Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people.
Right? So that was a song. We just read Moses was spitting bars. That was a song. Right? And then he came and read it and performed it to our people. Read on.
He and Hoshea the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. And he said unto them, set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day.
Think about what I just told you. Set your heart on it. Constantly meditate on what I just told you. Read on.
Which ye shall command your children to observe, to do all the words of this law.
Hold on. My son is crazy. Go ahead.
It says, for it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life.
Before it is what?
Is your life.
He just told you that song I just told you is your life. It's the life of Israel in a nutshell. Read on.
Because it is your life, and through this thing ye shall prolong your days in the land.
Through, if you keep this in mind and don't go on the wrong path and get these consequences, it's going to be for the furtherance in your prosperity. Right? Go ahead.
It says, for it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life, and through this thing ye shall prolong your days in the land, whether you go over Jordan to possess it.
Yeah, like it's just like if somebody was to tell you, listen, if you don't do the right thing, you're gonna end up dead or in jail. And then you go, okay, I'm gonna just do the right thing, do the right thing. Keep this in mind. Damn, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna end up dead or in jail. So let me not do this, let me do the right thing. This is the same thing. Remember this song. And all this bad stuff is going to happen to you if you don't do the right thing, bro. It's just that simple, right? Keep this song in mind. So we had warning after warning after warning. We put fringes and borders of blue on our garments. We wrote it in the doorposts of our homes as is commanded, and we still went off? The hell is wrong with you Negroes, man? And you Latinos and North American Indians. This is crazy when you think about it, right? So read on.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses that selfsame day, saying, get thee up into this mountain, Abiram, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho. And behold, the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel.
So the Most High told Moses come up in this mountain so he can take a look at the promised land. Read on.
For a possession. And die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people.
And he said, look, when you go up here, you're dead. Go up here, look at the promised land. You're not going to be able to enter into it for instances of you showing a lack of faith. That's the reason for that. Right? Hold on. Yeah. So, Salaki, where we at?
Deuteronomy 32 and 50.
Go ahead.
And die in the mount whither thou goest up.
So this is where Moses died at, right? Read on.
It says, and be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people, because he trespassed against me among the children of Israel.
So the Most High is upset at Moses. He's letting Moses know you're not going to be on the end of this land because you trespass against me. Read on.
Because he trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah, Kadesh.
Right, because there was a lack of faith that was there. And the Most High said hit it once and he hit it twice. So this is showing you that faith has been an issue from the beginning. Even going back before Moses to the father of faith, Abraham. Right? So when these Christians, they act like these concepts are new. We just, wait till y'all see this tape from the night camp we had earlier. You have this nutcase Christian pastor who looked me in the face and told me circumcision of the heart is a concept that Paul introduced. So then we go to Leviticus 26 and we show, no, this is an Old Testament concept. He wouldn't even acknowledge that he was wrong. You have to understand these Christians, these concepts that we see in the New Testament are not new. The New Testament, that's even a misnomer, right? It's 80 books that flow consistently, cohesively together that have been compiled into what's called the Bible. The concept of Old and New Testament was introduced centuries after the compilation of this stuff, after the writing of this stuff, by the actual writers of this stuff, right? But go ahead.
It says, in the wilderness of Zin, because he sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give the children of Israel.
I'm going to let you get a look at it, get a glimpse, but you're not going in. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 33. This is all the blessings.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 33 and 1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. Excuse me. And he said, the Lord came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000 saints from his right hand with a fiery law for them. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hands, and they sat down at thy feet. Every one shall receive of thy words. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he was king.
See that? He commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. What does that show? That this law is your heritage. You have inherited the Torah, the Torah. So you need to treat it as your heritage. You need to treat it as your culture. Because that's what Yahweh gave to you, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. Right? Read on.
It says, he was king in Jeshurun when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together.
That's Moses. Moses was made king in Jeshurun. So who technically is the first king of Israel? Technically, Moses. Read on.
It says, and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few.
So we have the tribe of Reuben, which are today your Seminole Indian. Because it speaks about what? Them men being few. It was already prophesied ahead of time that they were going to have low numbers. And the tribe of Reuben, as it is this day, has low numbers. Right? Read on.
It says, and this is the blessing of Judah.
Even the reckoned as the tribe is low. But then you have a large portion of Reubenites that are in Oklahoma that aren't reckoned, that have mingled in with Judah, or even mingled around Esau, that still patrilineally come from Reuben, that aren't reckoned technically tribally, even though the numbers are still few, and a lot of them that went into Mexico that aren't reckoned technically. What I mean by reckoned technically is the United States government does not recognize them through the blood quantum as being Seminole Indians, but they are in fact patrilineal descendants of the Seminole Indians, right? But their numbers are still low. This was a part of prophecy. Right, so read on.
And this is the blessing of Judah. He said, hear Yahweh, the voice of Judah.
Hear Yahweh, the voice of the tribe of Judah, the so-called African-American Negro, the so-called Ados. Right, read on.
And bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou in help to him from his enemies.
That's right, go ahead.
It says, and of Levi he said.
So we got to understand that if it wasn't for all that, because there's been a specialized attack on the tribe of Judah. Right? The tribe of Judah is still here in America, still existing, still tens of millions of them. That's only because the Most High has assisted. Right? Read on.
And of Levi he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One.
Right, what does that mean? He's telling Levi, you have an ability. You have tools called the Urim, which in the Paleo-Hebrew is Aworium, and the Thummim, which in the Paleo-Hebrew is Thamayim. Right? So the Aworium or the Urim is used as a sort of crystal ball-like fortune-telling instrument. And the Tamayim is also used in a similar way. Right? Aworium means light, so it's like a ball of light. And it would tell messages to the priest. Moses is saying, let that be with the Most High. Right? Currently, the tribe of Levi, the so-called Haitian, we're not letting that be with the Most High, but we still have that ability. That's why I say, let it be with the Most High. The Bible said the Most High give gifts without repentance. So this was a gift that the Most High gave to Levi. And this is why we're so skilled in what they call voodoo or witchcraft. Right? But we forget that the original name for voodoo is Yahweh, which is really a corruption of the word Yahweh, which went from Yahweh to Yahuwah to really came all the way from Yahweh. So we have to get back to that Yahweh or that Yahweh, instead of going on the left-hand side in voodoo. So he's saying, let your Urim and Thummim be with the Most High. All right? We have to stop using our abilities for wickedness in the case of the tribe of Levi, as well as all the other tribes. So read.
Whom thou didst prove at Massa.
That's right.
And with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah.
Right, because we proved ourselves as valiant people who stood for the Most High during the wilderness. Us Levites. Right? When Moses said, who stands on Yahweh's side? Only we stood up. Right? So we proved ourselves unto the Most High. Right? Read on.
who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him.
What does that mean? He said to his father and his mother, he have not seen him. Meaning we do not respect persons in judgment. Meaning we don't care if it's our father, our mother, whoever it is, and regardless of the relationship we have to that person, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Read on.
Neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children, for they have observed they have observed thy word.
It doesn't matter if it's our mom, our brother, our father, our child. We observe and extol the word of the Most High Yahweh above all. Read.
And kept thy covenant. They shall teach Jacob thy judgments.
And it's our job to teach Jacob, to teach Israel the law, statute, commandments. Read on. All praises, J. Shakur Cage. Read on.
And Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee in whole burnt sacrifice upon thy altar.
And we still do that. We still burn incense and whole burnt sacrifices. We're doing it now wickedly. But initially, this was a gift that the Most High gave us as being the priests that were in the actual physical temple. All Read on.
Bless Yahweh his substance and accept the work of his hands.
That's why we were able to make Haiti the most richest in all the Americas. Now, we didn't get the benefit of those riches, but through our labor, while we were slaves unto France, France got to get all those riches off of all the coffee and all the sugar that we produce. We outproduced the whole world. A western third of a small island in the Caribbean was able to outproduce the world in coffee and sugar production. Why? Because it says what? Bless our substance. Bless the work of our hands, right? Read on.
Bless Yahweh his substance and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him.
And why were we able to get a successful slave revolt, unlike other tribes? It's because we were blessed with the ability from God, through Moses saying this right here, with smiting through the loins of them that hate us. The white man, the French man hated us. We were given the ability to smite through their loins. Then we got them again in helping the tribe of Issachar beat them. Right? Then we were able to go down into South America and get the Spaniards out. We were able to help the United States of America with the American Revolution, because the Most High gave us the ability to smite through the loins of them that hate us. A Navy destroyer tried to port in Haiti, and they seen 20 Haitians with sticks and rocks, and they turned a whole Navy destroyer around because we can smite through the loins of them that hate us. That's a gift and a blessing that Yahweh gave to us. So we're forever, perpetually grateful to the Most High Yahweh. Right? Read on.
It says, smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of Yahweh shall dwell in safety by him.
That's why the tribe of Benjamin, on those islands that are of the tribe of Benjamin, they don't get rifled with natural disasters like Levi gets, like Ephraim gets, like Simeon gets, to speak in layman's terms, like Haitians get, like Puerto Ricans get, like Dominicans get. We know that Haiti got rocked in 2010 with an earthquake. We know Puerto Rico got demolished last year with a hurricane. What happened to Jamaica? What happened to Aruba? What happened to Turks and Caicos? What happened to the Virgin Islands? Nothing. They're dwelling in safety. That's what happened. Because God said they're going to dwell in safety. Because that is Jacob's baby boy. That's why. Read on.
And the Lord shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between
He shall cover
shores.
him all the day long. So a hurricane might come through, but it's not going to be as detrimental as it is to another tribe. Why? Because Yahweh is covering the tribe of Benjamin all the day long. Read on.
And of Joseph he said, blessed of Yahweh be his hands, his lands.
Joseph is dealing with your Taino Indians that's coming out of Puerto Rico and Cuba. Right? Bless his land. That's why when a white man pulled in there, he said, this is the port of riches. You people talking about the 12 tribes. I need y'all niggas to come and give me a solid, coherent, bro. Tell me I haven't been coherently, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, breaking this down from top to bottom and making it make sense to whom exactly we say it is. But the 12 tribes trying to real. You people are stupid. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is just doing it off the fly and not even going super in depth.
If we really wanted not to, even prepared.
Not if we really wanted to, we could show so much information. It'll just computer will just damn malfunction.
Okay.
Every brother in SICARRI had to do a breakdown on the 12 tribes.
That's right.
Every single one. Mine alone was 3 hours long. And we're doing it, and we're just barely scratching the surface. Not even scratching the surface.
Exactly. And that's the cool thing about it, man. That's the cool thing about it. In the spirit, what we got to understand is, like this brother said, everybody in SICARRI got to be able to do this breakdown. That is a requirement to be in this camp. You got to break down the 12 tribes. And these brothers, like you said, brother, 3 hours plus of information, of a wealth of information, historically and scripturally proven who's who. Right? Read on.
Okay. It says, and of Joseph he said, blessed of Yahweh be his land, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew and for the deep that coucheth beneath.
For the deep, that's the riches that was underground, man, that the damn white man was stealing. You understand what I'm saying? Beneath the surface. Treasures, sunken treasure ships. You see what I'm saying? The tribes in Africa, we have videos on them. Right? So read on.
And for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, and for the precious things.
Talking about all the port of riches down in Puerto Rico, the precious fruits brought from the sun. Read on.
It says, and for the precious things put forth by the moon.
Oh, go ahead.
And for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things.
And what was up in the ancient mountains there in Puerto Rico? Coffee that the white man came and got rich off of and became addicted to, and he's addicted to it this very day. So read.
And for the precious things of the lasting hills. And I mean, God, there's so much information we could go on. It says, and for the precious things of the earth and fullness thereof, and for the goodwill of him that dwelt in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren.
Apollyon, Ephraim. Read on.
His glory is like the firstlings of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. And when
meaning he's strong. A unicorn is a rhinoceros, so you can understand. Right? Read on.
With them he shall push the people together to
meaning when he rises up Israel, he's going to take the tribe of Joseph and push the people, conquer the people. Blacks and Hispanics will conquer this world. Thus saith the Most High. It's a prophecy about it. Read on.
To the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh.
You see that? Those Puerto Ricans and Cubans, man. And those other Ephraimites, like the Yoruba, since we want to bring up Africa, like the Yoruba out of West Africa, they're going to push, they're going to conquer this world under Hamashiach Yahushua. Right? Read on.
It says, and of Zebulun he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents.
That's right, because Zebulun and Issachar's land are neighboring each other. That's why it says, rejoice, Zebulun, going out, and Issachar in thy tents, and they live amongst each other, especially Zebulun. Right? Point?
Yeah, and just for, because I know there's going to be scoffers and scorners that's going, oh, 12 tribes chart.
Well, what the Bible says in the last days shall come scoffers and scorners.
Of course. But how you know this is through the Spirit is because you got Issachar and Zebulun right next to each other. And then you go in Revelation, the 7th chapter, and all the tribes are listed right next to each other geographically. That's on the 12 tribes chart. Now, get mad about that and go. Why don't you make a video about, why don't you break this down? Just break it down. Give us the 12 tribes.
Well, why have we never seen an adequate contrary breakdown?
Yeah.
Why? We got these guys. Somebody just came on RTR. Listen, we hit them up twice and they still ain't been able to deal with it. To this day. To this day.
Not talking about that.
You can't say, you need something again. I'm going to say it. They get mad at me when I say it, but it's called a viable antithesis.
That's right.
If you do not have an antithesis, meaning a thesis that is anti of what our thesis is, that has a degree of serious viability, shut up.
That's right.
Get over it. You're just mad. Go ahead.
God, how many videos we already done made, man?
Yeah, listen, I got one from Seattle that's coming soon through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Most High willing. That'll come soon. Did a beautiful breakdown in Seattle, man, on the fly, and I praise the Most High for utilizing me in that time and giving me the words that I need to say to convince the brother, because that brother needed that. But go ahead.
I'll be remiss. I just want anyone denying the chart. Just here's one verse: Genesis 49:13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be in the Zidon. I just want to put that out there.
See, it means
have fun, buddy.
Have fun.
But,
have fun making that ancient. And the only reason why they're trying to make all of it ancient is because they know they can't. They haven't done the level of study. The Most High has not revealed anything to them to give them the revelation of any modern day people that this is. So they just want to pawn it off on ancient times because the Most High is just not dealing with them. Period. So read.
Deuteronomy 33:18. And of Zebulun he said, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents.
That's right. Go ahead.
They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness.
Isn't that where the Mayans and the Aztecs built their pyramids?
Sure is.
And they did things right. Then they began to go off. And because they began to go off, the Most High allowed the Spaniard to come. Deuteronomy 28:49. That simple. You ain't got to get it. They can read it on their own. People know that scripture, right? Go ahead.
God, it says, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sand.
They were filthy rich. Because they had so much riches in that land, in the sands, in the seas, and in their mountains all over the place.
Is that? No, that's El Dorado's ashes.
Yeah, come.
Verse 20 though. And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad.
Blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. Gad had the biggest allotment of land out of all the northern kingdom tribes that came over here. That's why it says, blessed is he that enlargeth Gad. And the white man stole the land from Gad. He decreased Gad. So if you're blessed for enlarging Gad, you're going to be cursed for decreasing Gad, white man. Read on.
He dwelleth as a lion. And
he dwelleth as a what?
As a lion.
He dwelleth as a lion. He's lion-like. He looked like a lion. Y'all seen them pictures they got going around? You got Gad and a lion half and half. The Gadite look exactly like a lion. Who else looked like a lion like a Native American do?
No, hey, Soldier Yeshaya, he looked like a lion.
Who else has the exact facial structure of the king of the jungle but a Native American Indian? Who else has that? Nobody. He dwelleth as a lion. Read on.
Yeah, I want to. Where does how does a so-called Jew fit this?
Yeah, I love a breakdown on that.
He doesn't even look like Garfield. Barely.
The cat.
And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head.
Right, teareth the arm with the crown of the head, because they were known for scalping people. And then they're tearing the arm because they used to do those blood oaths with each other. Huh? That's that tearing the arm and the crown of the head. That means to scalp somebody. You look that word for the crown of the head up in the Hebrew, it says the hairy scalp. They used to scalp people. Who else did? Whoever you're saying is Gad, who the damn the Zulu? What scalping was the Zulu doing? Do the Zulu look like lions?
Oh God, because they had their shields. They had the little writing. It looked like, man, this stupid stuff. Anyway, verse 21. And he provided the first part for himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated. And he came with the heads of the people.
The portion of the lawgiver mean he was in a like a political office. The word lawgiver mean like a governor, right? That's what it means. Not actually somebody actually gives the law. That's its translated as that, but the Hebraic term just means a governor, meaning somebody who was a ruler in Israel. Read on.
It says, and he came with the heads of the people. He executed the justice of Yahweh and his judgments with Israel.
Read on.
And of Dan, he said, Dan is a lion's whelp. He shall leap from Bashan.
Yeah, he shall leap from Bashan. Now, Dan, I'm keeping Dan on the wraps. If it be the Most High's will, we'll have a video about Dan, soon enough. But go ahead.
And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor and full with the blessing of Yahweh, possess thou the west and the south.
What is that, the west and the south? The furthest western and southern points are Argentina and Chile, right? Now then you have somebody who goes, well, the west and the south mean the South Seas. Well, guess what? The most furthest southern part of the sea in the world is Argentina and Chile. Nowhere else. It's further south than any Polynesian, Micronesian, Austronesian, Melanesian, Micronesian, Pacific island. Okay? So read.
And of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children. Let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil.
Dip his foot in oil, right? That oil is not talking about motor oil, though they're blessed with that too down there in South America. It's talking about olives and things of that nature, read, which they have that level of produce, right? Read on.
Thy shoe shall be iron and brass.
Because the level of precious metals that they have down there. That's what they have in South America. Precious metals. Read on.
Yeah, about
and that word there is Barzal, which is where you get the word Brazil from, which coincidentally is the tribe of Asher. Read.
Thy shoe shall be as iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. There is none like unto the God of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help.
There's no one like Yahweh that comes and saves black and Hispanic people. Nobody like us. I mean, nobody like him. And because there's nobody like him, there's nobody like us. Also, that's the interesting part about it. But read on.
And his excellency on the sky.
Uh-huh.
The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. He shall say, destroy them.
Love them, save them, die for them. What shall he say?
Destroy them.
Destroy them. Go ahead.
Wow. Is Israel then?
No, Argentina is highly ethnically gentrified and ethnically cleansed, yes, because the Israelites are only about 5% of the population in Argentina, but Chile is not like that. Argentina and Uruguay are like that, where it's predominantly Edomite with a minority of indigenous and Negro. But Chile is not like that, right? But like I said again, Uruguay and Argentina are certainly majority Edomite countries, the same way America is and Canada is, but our people are still there. Even Trinidad is majority heathen country. It's 55% East Indian, Elamite, right? So the Israelites that are there in Trinidad and Tobago are actually the minority of the tribes of Benjamin and Levi, right? So read on.
And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone.
That's right. There's going to come a time where the Most High lets us loose and gives us command as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, as a mounted army of Israel under his son, who the world calls Christ Yahushua, to destroy the nations. Then we'll dwell in safety. After the nation, what about this? This is put this on the question.
I was just thinking that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Sister
that.
Cherry,
Yep.
this is coming out.
Yep.
Destroy them. Then they will dwell
safely. I didn't
safely.
want to say anything because we're live
I'll
right
spoil
now.
it. I'll let them listen. You guys can have this bone. Deal with that.
Yeah, destroy them.
Right? Go ahead.
Bless them. It says, Israel then shall dwell in safety alone after we destroy people.
Read on.
The foundation of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heaven shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
All right. Where we at?
34.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 34.
Meaning, tread upon a high place, meaning we're going to tear down these churches. We're going to tear down these Hindu temples. We're going to tear down these mosques. That's what that means. Tread down their high place. We're going to tread down the strip clubs.
Yeah, we're religiously intolerant.
Hey, God damn it, and so happy about it. And moreover, so is Yahweh, the Most High God. So read.
And Moses, Deuteronomy 34:1. And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah that is over against Jericho. And Yahweh showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali and the land of Ephraim, and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah, and the utmost sea, and the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees. Ire
is Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah Wathawada. So what is Moses doing here? I mean, what is the Most High doing here? He's showing Moses the land, right, on the mountain, that he's not going to have the opportunity and the privilege of entering into, right? Read on.
Unto Zoar. And Yahweh said unto him, this is the land which I swore unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob.
Wave catcher, that's a damn unfounded lie. Stop propagating madness. Okay? Watch wave catcher. Read on.
And the Lord said unto him, this is the land which I swore unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it
up. Those, real quick, those white Jews in Israel are the devil that the Bible speaks of. Real quick. Hold what you got. Revelations 2:9. To the brother Ken WKLS. I just want to show you something real quick.
Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty.
Right. So are the Jews in Israel in poverty? We know they're not. They're the richest people in the world. Right. Read on.
But thou art rich.
Thou art rich. Read on. And how are the Jews rich? They're rich in spirit. Right. Read on.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
See, Dan Grand, you need to watch it, buddy. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not. So the Bible is telling us that there would be people perpetrating a fraud and stealing the identity of the actual Jews, right? So those Jews in Israel are the people who are stealing the identity. They are the identity thieves, brother. So read on.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
They are the synagogue of Satan. That's who the Jews are. The chief house of Satan, the devil's, or the Satan's rather, predominant arm on this earth is the Jewish people who have stolen the identity of the true Jews, who the black man is, and the true Israelites, who the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian are. Just so you can understand, brother. Go back to that.
This is Deuteronomy 34 and it says, I'm going to finish verse 5. I will give it, verse 4, I will give it unto thy seed.
Mm-hmm.
I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither.
Mm-hmm.
So Moses, the servant of Yahweh, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Beth Peor, but no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses,
meaning because he didn't tell nobody where he was buried, and then we read later in the Bible, we find out that the archangel Michael actually went and retrieved the body of Moses when Satan was trying to show Israel where it was, because he knew Israel would fall into idolatry and worship it. Because when somebody dies who we hold in great esteem, we have the uncanny ability to idolize him, to deify him. And the Most High did not want that done to Moses, so he wouldn't hit that body. Read on.
and he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Beth Peor.
Go ahead.
But no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye was not dim, nor his natural force abated.
So the Most High really just took his spirit, because there was no reason. He had not suffered of old age at all. Right? Read on.
It says, and the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended.
Read on.
And anybody come up, this is Drum 18 cut.
And also, so you can understand when people go, well, how did Moses write this if he was dead? First off, it's called the books of Moses. Why? Because Moses is, outside of the Most High Yahweh, of course, the predominant individual that is interacting within the books, right? But the Bible never calls it the books of Moses. They refer to it colloquially as Moses, but in truth, the scribes write everything that's in the Bible. There are scribes that write these things, not the actual individuals themselves in most cases, but they're scribes, a sect of Levites that was literally appointed in just writing for the nation of Israel. Okay? Remember that. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 34:9. And Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hand upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Lord commanded Moses. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses.
So it says that Joshua stepped up in the stead of Moses, but he was not the prophet like Moses, because even when Joshua was on the scene, there rose up not a prophet like Moses. So that cuts the ideology that Joshua is the prophet that's being referred to in Deuteronomy 18:18, because it's Yahushua that's being referred to. I did a debate on it. Y'all can check that out. Right? Read on.
Whom the Lord knew face to face, and all the signs and the wonders which Yahweh sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh, and to all his servants, and to all his land, and all that the mighty hand, and all the great terror which Moses showed in the sight of all Israel.
See that? So that's it on that? All right, now with that, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, say Tawada, Shabbat Shalom, and Tawada for all the super chats again. Again, Shabbat Shalom, Israel.